Between take, Eric Stoltz, or Marty, because he demanded to be called Marty on set. I still want to see that version so bad. He says, Marty, if you hit me like that again, we have another scene coming up where I pull your ass out of the car, you know, the big hero scene with George McFly. He says, I'm not going to hold back, okay? Just so you know, if you hit me like that again, I'm going to really, really fuck you up. Lee, was you ever a fan of Eddie Van Halen? If so, what did you think about his guitar solo in the song Beat It? Yeah, love. I even heard I'm a big fan. Of course, I'm a huge Eddie Van Halen fan. Remember in Back to the Future when Marty McFly's got the suit on and he goes over George McFly's bed and he's playing the on the Walkman, he's playing Van Halen. And up until today, I was like, I've never heard, is that song on one of Van Halen's albums? That little intro. And funny enough, that was actually recorded for a movie that came out before Back to the Future that starred Leah Thompson and Eric Stoltz, who got fired from Back to the Future. Does anybody know the name of that movie? I just drew a blank. What was the name of that movie? I think it's called The Wild Side. I think it's called The Wild Side, something like that. But that song was actually recorded for that movie, but nobody ever watched that movie. Like, I didn't even hear about the movie until I went down a Back to the Future rabbit hole, YouTube rabbit hole recently. Do you guys ever do that? Sometimes I get obsessed with the whole Eric Stoltz thing. Guys, I want to see that Eric Stoltz version of Back to the Future so bad. Like, if I could have one movie wish, The Wildlife. Thank you, Lance. If I could have one, Lance, have you ever seen that? Is it good? If I could have one movie wish, it would be to see the Eric Stoltz version of Back to the Future. I want to see it so freaking bad. And I was in that rabbit hole. I was listening to an interview with Thomas Wilson, who played Biff. Hey, Drumdums, I know you're a massive Stallone fan. You review Fist. Oh, man, I've only seen Fist like a couple of times. It's definitely not my favorite Stallone movie. I'll have to go back and watch it again because that was a huge bomb. But yeah, back to the story though. Yeah, Thomas Wilson was talking about because Eric Stoltz shot like 2/3 of Back to the Future. And he said he did not like Eric Stoltz because he was very method about his acting. And I guess the scene where he is bullying Marty McFly, and remember Marty McFly, he like pushes Biff, to stand up to him. I think it was in the cafeteria. Yeah, because remember he hits his collarbone and he does like this. Remember that? Remember Marty McFly doing that? Well, Eric Stoltz shot that scene before he got fired. He shot 2/3 of the movie. And so Thomas Wilson, Biff, was stating that they shot that scene over and over and over. And every time they shot it, Eric Stoltz, with all of his might, bam, right in his collarbone. I mean, bam! I mean, hard as fuck, right in his collarbone every time because he's fully method. And Thomas F. Wilson, who's a big guy, by the way, pulls him aside between the take. He's like, hey, we're acting. You're hurting me. Like, this really hurts. Could you please, I will go with the punch and I'll go back and we will sell it without you having to break my fucking collarbone. And so he tells him that. And so, okay, let's do the next take. Next take. Bam! He freaking whacks him again right in the collarbone. And so then Thomas F. Wilson, he's like, okay, between take, Eric Stoltz, or Marty, because he demanded to be called Marty on set. I still want to see that version so bad. He says, Marty, if you hit me like that again, we have another scene coming up where I pull your ass out of the car, the big hero scene with George McFly. he says, I'm not going to hold back. Okay. Just so you know, if you hit me like that again, I'm going to really, really fuck you up. Okay. we're going to have to do multiple takes. I'm going to grab you and I'm going to literally shake you like a chimichanga, and I'm gonna fuck you up so bad, and you're gonna go home. You're gonna be sore as hell. All right. And so he said that scene never happened because Eric Stoltz got fired shortly after that scene, and because Eric Stoltz would not stop. He just kept freaking. And Thomas F. Wilson said he was bruised, like literally bruised from this side of his shoulder where he was unloading on him. So I think it's cool when actors go method. You do whatever you got to do to get into the role. But when you're hurting other people, then that's crossing the line. You can't do that. Davey Deathray, what's up, brother? How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah. But yeah, I went down do you guys ever go down like a YouTube rabbit hole? You start with one subject and then the YouTube recommends other videos. And man, I tell you, I do it all the time. I get into a Back to the Future. I saw Back to the Future in the theater in '85, and it was huge. Everybody was loving that movie, but I never knew about the Eric Stoltz thing until years and years later. But Bob Gale has stated that there is a warehouse somewhere, and that warehouse has all the reels, 35 millimeter reels of the Eric Stoltz. And he says one day it will come out and you'll get the 35 millimeter version with the sound and everything of the Eric. Now, 1/3 of the movie's not there though. But man, I tell you, if you watch that interview with Thomas F. Wilson though, he talks about how when Eric Stoltz, most actors, if they make it up to like the halfway point of any movie, then they're safe. They're not going to get fired. Okay. Because it's just way too much. Thank you, Misty. That's very kind. It's just way too much money, right? So and he said they were literally having conversations between takes when they were friendlier, and Eric Stoltz literally stated once they were past the halfway mark, he was like, "Hey, cool, we made it past the halfway mark. Looks like I can't get fired now." And he was like joking around saying, "I can't get fired now," and then he gets fired like a week later. Jesus, it's freaking insane. But they said they fired him because it wasn't the performance that they needed. Guys, here's a question for you. What is like an actor that would not work in a certain type of role? Like I could say Stallone, as much as I love Stallone, there are certain roles. Like I'll say this right now. Stallone was my idol growing up. Almost like a father figure almost, right? When you're a kid and you're watching Rocky and Rambo and you just, that's what you kind of want to, model your life after. That's what I want to be, watching Rocky, that pretty much set up my whole like fitness journey, right? And so many other people. That movie makes you want to work out. So as a kid, I was like really into Stallone and his movies. And in the 90s, he did The Specialist. And he does this love scene with Sharon Stone. And normally I'm all about love scenes. They're fun to watch, right? Yeah, it's good stuff. It was weird for me to watch Stallone in a love scene. And I know that sounds weird for me to even say that. But it was just, I had such a strong connection with him as like a father figure as a child, that it was weird for me seeing him it was just awkward. And I couldn't has any of that ever happened to you guys, or am I just weird? I'm probably weird. What's up, guys? You are at the end of the DD Live clip. What I do is I like to clip these out if I think the topic is important or something that's newsworthy. So thank you for watching, and if you want to watch more, you can go over here. You can go over here, click on one of those, and hopefully I can do this for 20 seconds, which I think I did. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys.